For your latest information, get expert opinion on an issue affecting us as Malaysians and citizens of the world. When we go face to face with our guests on Thursdays at 11:15 a.m. Only on TRAXXfm.
Good morning, Malaysia. Otto here, coming to you live from Angkasa Puri, Kuala Lumpur. Hope you're having a wonderful day so far. And if you haven't noticed yet, today's interview feature is on our Facebook and also Instagram, and that you can check it out on our Twitter handle as well at TRAXXfm Official. That's TRAXXfm OFFICIAL. And our interview feature today is going to be with Khairul Nizam bin Saad, the Senior Principal Assistant Director from the Tourism Policy and International Affairs Division from the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, and we're talking about borders reopening. Now, we all know that the 1st of April, Malaysia has reopened its international borders after 2 years, and that's quite exciting. So we have our special guest today, Khairul Nizam bin Saad. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Otto. How are you?
I'm fine. How about you?
Yep. I'm great. Thank you.
Well, we all know that the international borders are already open, and we would love to know what things that we need to know when it comes to policy. So the first question here, after 2 years, right, of travel restrictions, the borders are finally reopened. So what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, before that, thank you so much, FM, for inviting me to join this session to share some information from the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Malaysia, on what we are doing and what we have done, what we have experienced throughout this very difficult year that we have for the past 2 years because of this pandemic. And then we are glad to see that the national borders are finally open, starting for April. And then it is indeed a huge relief for the industry, And then the influx of foreign tourists will allow the tourism ecosystem in Malaysia to revitalize and re-energize. For the past 2 years, the tourism industry has been struggling, where some businesses have ceased to operate and shut down. Tour guides and taxi drivers lost their jobs, and hotels retrenched their staff to reduce costs and also their liabilities in order to keep their business afloat. So economic activities in localities that depend very much on tourism, such as Langkawi, Redang, Sioman and Mabul, were badly affected with very minimal income to the tourism businesses. So in order to ensure the survivability of the industry, the government has implemented the Langkawi domestic travel bubble on 16 September 2021, and then followed by the re-allowing interstate movement nationwide on 11 October 2021. And with the resumption of domestic tourism, the government has kick-started international travel through the implementation of Langkawi International Travel Bubble Pilot Project, or known as LITB, starting 15 September 2021. And this effort is a pilot test on the readiness of the tourism ecosystem, especially in tourism players in adapting to the new norms in reopening of the tourism industry in stages and safely.
Okay,
so,
Norizam, that's very interesting over there. We'll take a short break just for a while, and then we'll come back straight into the topic, yeah?
Sure, awesome.
All right, so we are currently talking to Norizam, Khairul Nizam bin Saad, the Senior Principal Assistant Director from the Tourism Policy and International Affairs Division from the Ministry of Tourism and Arts and Culture, talking about reopening borders. Now, we're going to take a short break just for a bit, and we'll be right back. For now, I have Tame Impala, Patience, Radio and Tracks.
For your latest information, get expert opinion on an issue affecting us as Malaysians and citizens of the world. When we go face to face with our guests on Thursdays at 11:15 a.m. Only on TRAXXfm.
Exactly, and today we have a very interesting topic to talk about, which is about the borders reopening, right? So today we have our special guest, Khairul Nizam bin Saad, the Senior Principal Assistant Director from the Tourism Policy and International Affairs Division from the Ministry of Tourism and Arts and Culture. And I would like to say thank you very much, Khairul Nizam, for your time. Now, back to your thoughts on today's topic with regards to the reopening, right? Could you continue on with that? What are your thoughts?
Okay, actually, can I continue?
Yeah.
After nearly 2.5 years of struggling, and now I think it's time for the industry players the government and all Malaysians to unite under the spirit of Keluarga Malaysia to restore the glory of our tourism industry back to the level where we stood before the pandemic. By instilling the sense of responsibility and integrity to adhere to the gazetted SOPs, together we can portray Malaysia as a safe destination, that's ready to welcome back tourists from all over the world to our shore with the opening of borders for international travel. That's for my opening auto.
Well, what are MOTEC's target on how many travelers are expected to enter Malaysia since our borders have reopened?
Okay, well, according to the World Tourism Organization or UNWTO, the international arrivals are expected to return to the level of year 2020, to the level of 2019 before the pandemic only after 2024. In addition, UNWTO also indicates that international tourist arrivals could grow by 30 to 78% in 2022 as compared to 2021. However, also, this would be 50 to 60% below pre-pandemic levels. This is due to the recent rise of COVID-19 cases due to the Omicron variant, which has disrupted recovery as some countries still impose travel ban and restriction for certain markets. In the case of Malaysia, we hope that the opening of borders will further bolster and expedite the recovery of our industry. So by 2022, as announced by our Honourable Minister, MOTEC targets for the international tourism revenue to reach at least 8.6 billion. With 2 million foreign tourists expected to visit our country. However, this is an early projection, and we will be reviewing this target in the next 3 months. And then in 2025, we anticipate that our international tourism revenue to reach between 47 to 77 billion with 16 to 22 million international arrivals. They will be close to the level of tourist arrivals and performance back to the era where we don't have the pandemic in existence.
Well, that's quite ambitious for the Ministry of Tourism to have that kind of target. But I think, again, I'm very sure that a lot of tourists will be coming into Malaysia, so we all have to take care of our SOPs and ensure that border securities are tight, so just to make sure that no other variants will come in. Now, if you are still tuning into us online as well, or anybody else is tuning on radio, you can also tune to us online right now at TRAXXfm Official, which is live currently on Facebook at TRAXXfm, TRAXXfm, OFFICIL. We're talking currently to Encik Khairul Nizam bin Saad, the Senior Principal Assistant Director from the Tourism Policy and International Affairs Division from the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture. So if you have any questions, you can do so via our Facebook account right now. You can ask us any questions, and we'll be glad to ask it to our guest today. Now, Encik Khairul Nizam, I have a couple more questions here. Can you tell us about the SOPs being put in place to ensure that the safety and health of our tourists?
Okay. As the custodian of the tourism industry, MOTEC needs to ensure that the reopening borders SOP balance the need to safeguard public health with the comfort of the tourists. In this regard, MOTEC, through the experience in managing the Langkawi international travel bubble, had put forth the feedback received from tourists, travel agencies, tour guides, airlines, airport authorities, as well as our frontliners on the ground at the health screening and immigration counters for deliberation and consideration of the team led by the Ministry of Health in formulating the SOP. So we hope that by easing the health and travel requirements of protocols, we will be able to capture the interest of the foreign tourists who will choose Malaysia as their preferred destination. As a result, MOTEC is very happy with the SOP for the inbound travel that has been produced by the Ministry of Health. And then from the SOP, we can see that the processes and procedures were made easy to the tourists through MySejahtera application. Upon arrival, testing and quarantine requirements were also eased, whereby tourists can do their professional RTK antigen test at any authorized medical facility within 24 hours after arrival. And if the results are positive, they are free to travel everywhere in the country.
Wow.
And then to ensure the safety and health of the tourists, the government has published several guidelines related to travel and tourism activities, such as for the hotel and guest accommodation, events, gathering, entertainment and tourist attraction, sport, recreational and leisure activities, as well as for retail activity, food and beverages. And these guidelines were developed carefully to ensure that the safety and health of our tourists, as well as the employee in the tourism real estate industry, will be in good condition at all times. And for instance, also under the guideline for hotel and guest accommodation, the hoteliers need to ensure physical distancing is adhered by all guests and workers where possible. And furthermore, all guests and workers need to wear face masks at all times while they are in common areas within the hotel. And to ensure the level of cleanliness, hygiene and health safety, the hoteliers need to ensure that their premises are well maintained and have good ventilation.
Well, I've seen that before. I recently went to a hotel, and I see a lot of hoteliers are actually following the SOPs, and I'm quite happy that we are living quite well with the SOPs. It's kind of a new norm right now, and knowing that we can already have people from international tourists come on by to Malaysia, they can breathe a sigh of relief, knowing that we're all in this together. We're one family, taking care of each other, and also our friends and families that are from other overseas coming to Malaysia. But now, how are hotels and tourism destinations contributing to the recovery, and what have they prepared for the opening of borders so far?
All right. Hotels and destination. In fact, they act as the marketing arm for Malaysia through their own network and sales channels. And they have already started doing so even when the news of borders reopening. And international brands have promoted the reopening to its respective loyalty programs with members around the world. And in general, stakeholders are prepared with initiatives that caters to current trend and demand, such as the hygiene and safety through the Travel Safe Alliance Malaysia, a partnership of Malaysian Association of Hotel, tour operators, which is MATA, business event through the Association of Event Organizers, and also the airlines. And this will be the safety mark to Malaysia as a safe destination. On manpower, the industry is actively recruiting to ensure service standards and to manage expectation of guests and assisting tourists on SOP requirement as set by the government. Hotels, for example, will be providing professional testing option to hotel guests as part of its service for the convenience of the travelers. And furthermore, some hotels in Malaysia that partially or ceased operation temporarily during the MCO took advantage to refurbish and upgrade rooms and hotel facilities to prepare when the borders are open. And now, with the announcement of the borders opening, I think that most of our industry, especially in the hotel industry, are ready to welcome back our international tourists to our country.
Well, that's great news so far that I've heard. Now, seeing that there will be some major events, or maybe there will be major events here in Malaysia, since the hotels are opened already and are ready to accept tourists in Malaysia, and our borders are already open to international tourists as well. Before we move on to the next question, I would just like to say hello to all our FB Live participants right now. Thank you so much for joining us. Hello to Heidi. Hello to Rose Teal. Thank you so much for joining us on our Facebook Live right now. Sophia, Shah, Kichi, Shirley Key, Shamsul Azri. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, you can do so via our Facebook account right now at TRAXXfm Official and ask our guest, Encik Khairul Nizam Saad, the Senior Principal Assistant Director from the Tourism Policy and International Affairs Division from the Ministry of Tourism and Arts and Culture. Now, moving on to this question which I asked earlier on, which is with regards to events. Now, since the borders are opened, right, will there be any major events lined up for Malaysia?
Okay, so answer this, I will take from the Motex perspective. As a culturally rich country, I think Malaysia has been using the cultural festivities in the country to attract international tourists to come and experience the colorful and uniqueness of our culture and tradition. This can be seen by the theme of Visit Malaysia year in the past, that always relate to culture and festivities as the main asset to promote Malaysia tourism to the world. Furthermore, this is also in line with the award-winning tourism tagline, Malaysia Truly Asia, that has been used by the government to position Malaysia as one of the most preferred destinations in the world. Yeah. In relation to this, Malaysia has organized many cultural activities to commemorate the celebration of special religious and cultural occasions and position them as a tourism experience for tourists. Yeah, those festivals such as the Malaysian Open House or Majlis Rumah Terbuka for Aidilfitri, for Chinese New Year, Deepavali, Christmas, Tadarus Keamatan, and Gawai Dayak have been organized in the past. Just recently, MOTEC, in collaboration with the State Government of Sarawak, has organized the program named Citrawarna Keluarga Malaysia in Kuching, in Sarawak, on 20 to 27th of February 2022. Yeah, as Malaysia was still in the phase 4 of the recovery plan at that time, the event was organized carefully with strict adherence to the SOP and enforcement. Yeah, and Alhamdulillah, so far we have received very good feedback from the tourists and also by the citizen and resident of Sarawak, and also some local tourists that travel to Sarawak to experience this cultural performance. Yeah. And apart from that, as we have started opening borders and most of economic and social activities are slowly returning near to normal, of course with SOP in place, MOTEC will be organizing the Majlis Rumah Terbuka Hari Raya Aidilfitri. This year will be in Kuala Terengganu on 25th of May 2022.
Oh, okay.
It will be a big, one of the big events organized by MOTEC. In line with the opening of our borders and also to commemorate the celebration of Aidilfitri. And before that, MOTEC will be organizing the program Iftar 2022 at Kuala Lumpur in Dataran Merdeka in 16, 17 and 23rd of April. So those who are nearby Dataran Merdeka can take advantage to attend the program, where you can taste and experience the local tradition food that Malaysians usually eat during breakfast during Ramadan.
Okay.
That will be the most upcoming event that will be organized by MOTEC.
Awesome. So if currently, if you're a tourist right now in Malaysia and you'd like to try out Iftar, you can always head on to the Tourism Malaysia's event, which is happening on the 16th, 17th and 23rd of April this month. So there we go. Next question is, where can the public actually get information about Malaysia's tourism, including travel ideas, special deals and major events that will be happening in Malaysia? And how about the SOPs and the safety guidelines? Where can they be found?
Okay, for information on Malaysia's tourism, we have one stop center where we name it as Malaysia.travel. So we have a website to www.malaysia.travel, and then we also have the same domain name which can be found on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and also YouTube. Always under one name, Malaysia.travel. It's easy to remember, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm inviting for all the audience, the listeners of TRAXXfm to log on to the website and then subscribe or follow our social media account to get the updates on the tourism programs or activities, or even the special deals and packages offered by the travel agencies in Malaysia. Yeah.
Okay. Just
sorry, just to add, you asked about the SOP, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. For the SOP, it can be found all in one place at www.mysop.gov.my.
Okay. www.mysop.gov.my.
Yes, true.
For latest tourism programs and promotions, you can always find at www.malaysia.travel, right?
Yep, true.
Okay, just a big quick shout out to our Facebook participants. I like to say Sakit Perut says, good morning from Moscow City. It says listening and watching right now. Thank you so much. We have Heidi Zainal says, we'll definitely check out Malaysia.travel. And we also just have Siti Aisha. Thank you so much for watching. And if you'd like to share or you have any questions, you can do so via our Facebook account right now at TRAXXfm Official. Now, do you have anything else, Hairul, that you'd like to add?
Okay. As we know, the tourism industry is a thriving economic engine. Yeah. However, just like any other industries, tourism also has to face various challenges such as taxation issues, infrastructure issues, lack of skilled human resources, increased cost of vacation and inflation, climate change, pollution, over-tourism, and also the health pandemic crisis. Yeah. Nevertheless, I would like to quote from Albert Einstein that says, in the midst of every crisis lies great opportunity. So the COVID-19 crisis especially have provided an opportunity for us to rethink tourism for the future, where the measures put in place today will shape the tourism of tomorrow. Yeah. Hence, our current priority is to forge better resilience for the industry through the recovery and rebuilding efforts, which will be, we believe, will steer our path towards a culturally rich and sustainable industry. So in short, it is critical that the action plan that we outline geared towards resilience as well as responsiveness and preparedness for new or unforeseen challenges. And we must be ready to capture any growth opportunities in short term and invest in new capabilities and hardware for the long term. We should not aim for business as usual and recapture the tourism of the pre-pandemic era. We have to redefine ourselves as a safe, innovative, and trusted destination. Instead of build back better, we should build forward better. So I think that's the additional thing that I would like to mention here. So I hope that all Malaysians unite together so we can rebuild back our tourism industry and then restore the glory where we have stood before. Yeah. And then we hope that the economic benefit from the tourism activities can be benefited by all sorts of life in Malaysia.
Thank you so much, Hairul Nizam, for that. I think what you said is very apt and very true. We have to build everything together as one family. You know, Malaysia is a multicultural society with multi-religions, and we all have to work together in ensuring that Malaysia, bounce back great again. So once again, thank you so much, Encik Hairul Nizam. Thank you so much for your time. And please ensure that you also follow the SOPs, and wherever you go, just forward that information to everybody else. All right. Thank you so much. You have a good day.
Thank you again, TRAXXfm. Thank you.
Bye bye.